Baoyu woke up, and you know what? He must be thinking about someone in his heart. It's Daiyu. She came to visit him real quick, but had to leave in a hurry. Why? Because Aunt Shifeng barged in. He's really into Daiyu, like we talked about yesterday, you know. Baoyu and Xiren, they're actually like a married couple. And let me tell you, Baoyu is a real scaredy cat. He's always afraid of Xiren. So now he wants to send someone to visit Daiyu, but guess who he needs to avoid? Yep, Xiren. So he came up with a plan and asked Xiren to go borrow a book from Baochai's place, just to get her out of the way. Now, who's he gonna send to visit Daiyu? Qing Wen. He tells Qing Wen, go check on Lin Gu and see what she's up to. If she asks about me, just say I'm good. Qing Wen asks, what if she asks why I'm there? I gotta have a reason, right? Can't just show up for nothing. Baoyu says there's nothing to say. Qing Wen insists, if I don't have a reason, it's gotta be to deliver or pick up something, right? Otherwise, how am I gonna start a conversation? Baoyu thinks for a bit, grabs 2 handkerchiefs, and gives them to Qing Wen, saying, take these and give them to her. Qing Wen says, this is weird. She wants these kinda used handkerchiefs? She'll get mad and say you're teasing her. Baoyu smiles and says, don't worry, she'll understand. Qing Wen arrived at the Xiaoxiang pavilion and guess what? Daiyu was already knocked out, fast asleep. Yo, who's there? Qing Wen replied, it's me, Qing Wen. What's up? Second master sent some handkerchiefs for you, Mississippi. When Daiyu heard this, she got a little ticked off, like, why the heck is he sending me handkerchiefs? Who gave them to him anyway? They must be fancy ones, so he should save them for someone else. I don't need them right now. Qing Wen smirked and said, nah, they're not new, just regular old ones. This just made Daiyu even more confused, but she took them carefully and finally got it. Alright, put them down and get out of here. Daiyu realized what Baoyu meant by giving her those old handkerchiefs, and her heart was all over the place, a mix of emotions and thoughts. Baoyu's really putting in the effort to understand my pain, and it makes me happy. But at the same time, I'm kinda bummed out because I don't know where this is going. And then out of the blue, he sends me 2 old handkerchiefs. If it wasn't for him getting what I'm feeling, I would have just laughed at those handkerchiefs. But now, I can't stop thinking about it. My mind's all over the place, and I can't focus on anything else. You know that scene we all know? Well, she wrote 3 poems in a row on that handkerchief, and she wanted to keep going. It got her all fired up, her whole body was burning, and her face was all flushed. She went to the mirror and saw her cheeks all red, looking so damn beautiful. It was like she was surrounded by peach blossoms. Little did she know, this was the start of her illness. But let's not get into that right now. So, you remember that scene where Baoyu got his butt kicked, right? It was like a whole show with so many people involved, Baochai, Daiyu, and Xiren. We all saw it, so let's get straight to the point. Let's talk about Shui Baochai, and while we're at it, let's not forget about Xiren. Man, Xiren's got some serious skills. She's all about that perfect balance of being gentle yet strong, using her vulnerability to conquer the strong. It's seriously impressive, I tell you. Alright, let's talk about the juicy stuff, the love between Baoyu and Daiyu in Dream of the Red Chamber. This book is like a massive, towering building with a crazy intricate structure. There are so many different storylines going on, but there's one that stands out above the rest, and that's the love between Baoyu and Daiyu. If you take that out, the whole building would just crumble into a pile of rubble. Throughout Dream, the love between Baoyu and Daiyu is like the main thread that holds everything together. It's not the only thing happening in the book, and it's not the ultimate purpose of the story, but it's definitely the glue that keeps the whole novel intact. So, let's dive into this love story and give it the attention it deserves. I've mentioned before that Dream of the Red Chamber is the first Chinese literary work that truly delves into the realm of love. Before this, there were works like The Story of the West Wing and The Peony Pavilion, but they didn't quite capture the essence of love. We've also discussed how the term love didn't originally exist in the Chinese language and was only introduced in modern Chinese as a translation for words like love in English. But just because the term didn't exist doesn't mean that the concept of love wasn't portrayed. Dream was the first work to depict the realm of love because love, which is an essential aspect of human life, didn't have a place in traditional Confucian teachings in China. I've been thinking about this for a while. You know how Confucius talked about the way, right? And then Mencius continued the discussion, right? They talked about the 5 relationships in human interactions, like the ruler and subject, father and son, husband and wife, elder brother and younger brother, and friend and friend. These relationships are the foundation of ethics. Now, among these relationships, the husband and wife one is different. The ruler and subject have their sense of duty, the father and son have filial piety, and the husband and wife have their own roles. The term husband and wife is used for those who are married. But what about the relationship between a man and a woman before marriage? That's what we call love in modern Chinese. Love hasn't been considered as a fundamental part of these relationships and isn't seen as an ethical matter. That's why it has always been avoided and not discussed in Confucian teachings. In the novel Dream of the Red Chamber, they really started discussing it. The first serious discussion happened in the 5th chapter when Jia Baoyu had a trippy experience in a dreamlike world. They didn't use the word love at that point, but there was another word created by Chao Shuoqin. Do you know what it was? It was yin, which means indulgence or desire. Although it's similar to the concept of love, the addition of yi, meaning intention or meaning, gives it a different connotation. It represents a different level of experience. So, what do regular guys and gals call yin? They call it jifulan yin, which means indulging in physical pleasure. Jinghuan Xiangu, the enchantress fairy, told Baoyu, "The reason I take care of you is that you are the most indulgent person in the world, throughout history." This statement scared the heck out of Baoyu. He quickly responded, "Fairy, you've got it wrong. I'm lazy when it comes to studying, and my parents are always lecturing me. How could I dare to use the word yin? Besides, I'm still young and don't even know what yin means." Jinghuan Xiangu explained, "No, although yin is a common concept, yi makes a difference. It represents a different level of experience. Those who indulge in physical pleasure in the world are only attracted to beauty, enjoy singing and dancing, and endless jokes. They desire passionate encounters, wishing to enjoy the beauty of women for a short period of time. They are all foolish creatures who indulge in physical pleasure. But someone like you, born with a special talent, will experience a deep and sincere love. We can call it Yi-yin." And with the mention of Yi-yin, a new theme emerges, which is love. It hadn't been discussed before. Yi-yin is something that can only be understood in the heart and cannot be fully expressed in words. That's true. Love is a realm that can only be understood in the heart and cannot be fully expressed in words.